like, comment, share, subscribe. Welcome to Flat Life TV, where we connect culture, music, and streets. Today, we have somebody special. Today, we have a certified multi-platinum producer, artist, songwriter, father, podcast host, tour DJ. What I forgot to mention, Phat.
A fire cook.
All right. Who is Mr. Phat?
Man, I'm just me, man. A North Side baby, man. Born North Side Lafayette, Richter Park. Right there off of 415 Patterson, man. And Martin Luther King. Just a youngster who was doing music back in the day. Come from a musical family. You know what I'm saying? Grew up in high school, started doing my thing music-wise, rapping and making beats, and just took off from there.
All right. What was it like growing up in Richter Park?
Oh man, it was cool, man. And, I was an in the house type of kid, you know what I'm saying? So I was always into the music and the arts and stuff like that. Though, I had a couple of partners around the neighborhood. My partner Reggie, Q-Zoo, all them ball right there. Life was simple back then. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Life was simple back then, man. I'm an 80s baby, man. So, as I grew older, in my high school days, I started kind of hearing about the neighborhood, the crime rate started going up and stuff like that, man. But I was into my school and stuff, so I didn't cross paths with a lot of it.
All right. How did your environment influence your sound and your creativity?
From my friends, you know what I'm saying? Going to school and just being friends with a lot of my partners from the neighborhood. Going to summer camp, becoming friends with a lot of people from Truman and the Zip. You know what I'm saying? And just life experience, because as I grew up and got older in high school and started being the guy that did beats, all these people I ran across from my childhood that ended up doing music, we started crossing paths again. So, listening to their stories and just helping make beats to help them tell their story in their music is kind of what, helped me mold my style as a producer,
All right. Mm-hmm. Who are some of your musical influences coming up?
Oh, man, my first one would be my pops. Rest in peace to him, man. The late great John Neezy. He was a music director, choir director at Immaculate Heart of Mary Church for about almost 30 years.
All right.
After that, man, it was just all the records I listened to. Stevie Wonder, the local folks, local rap groups like Deep South Syndicate. You know what I'm saying? I started listening to them, getting further in my rap career and my production stuff. I started crossing paths with a lot of people I was listening to out here. So that kind of helped me too,
All right. All right. When did you realize music could be a career and not just a hobby?
Shit, by 15, 16 years old. When I started being able to come home on the weekends, getting dropped off at the studio, and I'm coming back home with about $200-300 every Friday, Saturday, and I'm seeing some of my partners go and get jobs. And, back then I'm selling beats for about $50 to $100. Now that's cheap to a lot of rappers, but to a 16, 17-year-old, you know what I'm saying, $300 a weekend, and all I got to do is plug up my keyboard every 2 days, man. That was a lick. Mm-hmm. So, my daddy was the first one that started letting me know, well, look, man, you coming home with this kind of money and it's legal, take it serious. Mm-hmm. You could turn it into a career, because he wanted to do it at that level, but just never got the chance. He committed to the church. So when he saw I could go that route, man, he was all for it. So.
All right. All right. Now how did you get the name Mr. Phat?
Man, you probably the first person to ask me that, dog. So Phat always been my nickname. My real nickname in my family, my nickname was Fat Face.
All right.
So everybody, clearly I'm a chubby dude. I was always a fat baby, a chubby baby. So all of my people in my family would call me Fat Face or Fat Cheeks, you know what I'm saying? Well, as I got older, in the household, black people, we're not calling you by your whole nickname. After a while, we want to get to you, we cutting your nickname short.
All right.
So it became from Fat Face to just Fat, and it just stuck with that.
All right. What was your first big placement or production credit?
My first big production credit would have to be a song with a group from Burdenville called what the ball name was, man. Something Blues Brothers. The Blues Brothers from Verdonville had a song called Ride featuring Lil Boosie. That was my first biggest production credit, and that one ended up on the radio, ended up going on Billboard in the rap chart. So that was my first big placement, despite other songs that people might have thought. But that's my very first big production credit.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
How did the collaboration on Cupid Shuffle come about?
Man, me and Cupid just always been partners since middle school up until high school. We were signed to the same record label in high school. He was in a group, I was in a rap group, and I was a producer as well. So he ended up going solo from his singing group and needed a producer. Right. And he just hit me up and was like, yeah, man, let's just work. So me and him always worked on albums. We did 5 albums, I want to say, before Cupid Shuffle.
All right.
So me and Cupid always had a good working relationship since high school. And, you know, like they say, consistency breeds success. And, you know, me and him kept dropping songs, doing albums. And about 5-10 years later, after we had started working with each other, then came Cupid Shuffle, dog, and that was a wrap.
All right. Did you expect Cupid Shuffle to blow the way it did?
No, I did not. Honestly speaking, I didn't. I thought the song was too simple. You know, I didn't think it was a big. I didn't think it was big musically, because I'm so used to putting so much music in my beats. So when I heard it, Cupid Shuffle, and it was so simple, I didn't really think it would catch. But Cupid Shuffle was my first lesson in learning that simplicity is the best way to make a hit song.
All right.
Because people can remember simple songs faster than they could remember something else.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
What do you remember about that era?
I remember that era was before social media.
All right.
So promoting music and reaching out to people and building a fan base was way different back then. I couldn't just pull out my phone and post, go check out my song in front of 30,000-40,000 followers back then. Right. You still had to get out there and hand out CDs, go open up at clubs where people never heard of you before. Now, you know, it's to a point now you can promote yourself to a bigger amount of people in a faster amount of time. So that was one of the things I do remember, the pre-digital social media age, you know.
All right. Who were some artists you worked with during the early 2000s?
Man, you name them, man. Shout out to the Entourage, man. I was with the Entourage before they signed their deal with Red Boy. Right. So I always did work with them. Shout out to Mas, Tat, rest in peace to Bunny B. I worked with Vicious as soon as he got out of jail from his Fed charge. When he came out the Feds, I met him at Red Boy Studio, started working with him. I worked with Scarface. I mean, I did songs that featured Boosie, Gates, Big Hawk, Mr. Right. 3-2 from the SUC, right. T-Pop. You know, I did a lot of stuff for T-Pop on his album when he came out. So I had my hands in a lot of artists, my own group, LOC, the home team, a lot, bro.
All right. Now, how was your relationship with Vicious?
Oh, man, that was like a big brother, little brother relationship, man. Everybody that's friends with VI, man, just know, man, that guy was a character, bro. And, you know, me and him, he taught me a lot when it came to the rapping, which helped me become a better rapper. And I taught him a lot as far as being able to be coached.
All right.
As an artist. You know, a lot of artists, when they celebrities or they stars, you know, they got a lot of people that don't never tell them no. And I think with me and Vicious, we got to the point where he could trust my opinion and my guidance to where I could tell him no in the studio and say, hey, hit that over, do this over.
All right.
Make your voice do this. So me and him had a real good producer-artist relationship, you know?
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Who's some artists that you're working with now?
Now, man, I'm pretty much doing a lot on my own because I'm back rapping again, so I've been self-producing myself. I've been doing a lot of blues, southern soul music lately.
All right.
So if you know a lot of swing out artists, man, I've worked with the Tuckers, of course, Cupid. I'm still working with Cupid. That's my dog. Mr. Marcellus, the singer. You know, a lot of the females, you know, Kim McCall, she got the Clock That T song. Miss Sugar, Leah Simone. I got my wife, Neba. I'm just working with a lot of artists, man, on that blues, southern soul side. I've been going to that lately, right. You know.
All right. What was the studio vibe like back then compared to now?
Oh, man. the studio vibe back then was different because every studio had a different set of rules. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
You had your hood trap studios
All right.
where you go to some of them sessions and you don't leave out of that till the sun come up, and y'all might have recorded 2 songs, but it just be a vibe. Everybody be chilling, smoking, drinking. Somebody call some guns, and now nobody recording. Now everybody just hanging out. And then I've been to some studios where it's just straight work. Once you hit the clock, the money getting spent, you know what I'm saying? And
Right.
I done knocked out 5, 6 songs in some nights. So every studio is different, but overall back then, I think everybody was creating music on the spot together.
All right.
And that's not something that they do too much these days. Everything is done through email and, send me the song, I send it back. But back then, it was a lot of group effort, so that was dope.
How important was Lafayette and Louisiana, Texas connection to y'all come up?
It definitely was a good pipeline, man, especially music. You know what I'm saying? Because the culture in Louisiana and Texas. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that got a deeper understanding of what the pipeline with Texas and Louisiana was, you knew that was real heavy in in the 90s and the 2000s. And along with that came the music. You know what I'm saying? Because it was all hand in hand. People like to party, people like to hustle, and they like to jam the music. So you always met, certain people who did a certain type of business was always friends with the rappers. So when they came in town, everybody met with each other. So naturally, if you had 2 sets of dudes meeting in Louisiana and Texas on some business, and they had rappers with them, somebody was looking for beats. So I would always get the phone call, or somebody would hit my beeper.
Right.
Man, Thad, we at the studio, we need somebody with some beats. So Texas and Louisiana kind of like got a good relationship as far as culture and music,
All right. We cousins.
We cousins. We down south cousins,
What's the difference between producing for the streets and producing for the charts?
That's a good question. I think the business is the only difference.
All right.
That's all it is. I think when you go in the studio, you're not really planning to say, well, I'm making a song that's gonna go top of the charts. You can try, but the music business is something totally different from the art of making music. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
So you got people who can make a simple song go #1 if they do the right business behind it.
All right.
You got some artists that might make cool classic music, and you feel like the world ain't never heard them. It ain't because the music ain't dope. It's because they just don't have the right business behind them. So
All right.
I think it's a business thing.
Can you walk us through your creative process?
For making tracks,
Yeah.
like producing, man, I got a weird mind, bro. I just I hear stuff differently.
All right.
Let me say it like this. It might weird some people out, but I got the kind of brain where I see music, I see sound like colors.
All right.
So like, you know how you can get dressed and you can put an outfit together, right? You can say, okay, well that shirt go with this pair of shorts, or these shoes go with that hat, this and that. That's how I see sounds.
All right.
So when I'm making beats and I'm listening and I'm making music, I say, okay, well this sound will fit this song better. Let me put an organ here. Let me put some horns here. Bass. So my mind just work a little different. I can actually see what I hear in my mind before everybody else can. So.
All right. Now them little beat breakdowns that you was doing, you still be doing them?
The beat breakdowns?
Like
when I showed how I make beats? Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
What equipment or software were you using back in the day?
Oh man. Back in the day, I used to use rolling drum machines. I used a lot of my daddy equipment. My first piece of equipment my daddy bought me was an ASR-10. So the ASR-10 keyboard is like one of the most popular industry keyboards for sampling and making music on. Kanye West didn't use them. Dr. Dre, Just Blaze, you name it. It's like a standard. So after I got the ASR-10, I graduated to the Motif and the classic MPC 2000.
All right.
And the MPC 2000 is what I made Cupid Shuffle on.
All right. Okay. What's one artist you wish you could have worked with?
Well, one for sure, my all-time favorite rapper is Andre 3000.
All right.
I was actually in a session of a song that he ended up being on, but he wasn't on the original version. So when I was in the studio, it was a certain set of rappers on the song. It was a song for Devin the Dude. And then when I left the studio, about a month later, I heard Andre 3000 on it. But locally, like somebody I really crossed paths with a few times that I wish I could have worked with would have been Pimp C, bro.
All right.
Cause man, two producers like me and Pimp C,
Yeah.
man, bro. That'd have been some shit if me and Pimp C got the hook up, you know?
Yeah, fact.
Yeah.
How did success of the Cupid Shuffle change your life and career?
Shit. Changed my a whole 180 degrees, my brother.
All right.
I got the phone call that a record label signed Cupid Shuffle. I was working at the Walmart DC in Ville Platte.
All right.
And man, my dog Cupid called me. He said, "Hey man, it's not a lot of money, but in the next couple of months, dog, we can go across the world and make this the biggest song. What you want to do?" And hey man, I told them people, hey, it's my last night, baby. I clocked out. I hit him with the ID badge. Everybody was cheering for me like Eminem on 8 Mile. Don't never come back, Phat. Go do your shit, my dog. And man, that was a hell of a day, man. Shout out to all my peoples at the DC and Walmart, man, in Ville Platte. But that, man, after that changed my life, man. That was it. That's when I took music full time. You know, traveled the world, made great money, you know what I'm saying? Learned the music business.
All right.
After the record deal, we learned how to be independent hustlers when it came to the music. Opened up studios, you know, all did our business things, man, and we ain't looked back since, bro. So it really just take one song, bro. One hit could change your life.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
What are some challenges you face in the industry that people don't see?
Business structures. A lot of people forget that in this music industry, it's still a business. You know, people have to spend money on certain people. Everybody can't walk through the door at the same time.
Thanks.
You're gonna realize that the business could make you feel like your talent is not good enough, and it's not that. It's just that your talent might not be the flavor of the week that they want right now. You know, I might come with a bunch of soul samples with organs and gospel sounding music, and that's cool. But if the industry not on that right now, if they on Snap, Crackle, Pop right now, Soulja Boy, Sexy Red, if I ain't making the type of shit that can run with that, I might be on ice for a little minute.
That's right.
That don't mean I stop working. You just got to navigate through that and, you know, get in where you fit in, literally. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been tempted to move out of Louisiana for music?
Shit, yeah, man. I was supposed to go to Atlanta. I was this close to moving to Houston a bunch of times, which a lot of people from Louisiana gonna move to Houston. But at the time, the music game was so saturated out there, I felt like I'd be drowning myself by going somewhere else where I wouldn't stand out as much. And I think a lot of people get it misconstrued that when you move out of town, it's actually harder, believe it or not. Like let me not say this. If you move out of town and you don't have no network, no relationships, no history out there,
Thanks.
You're putting a lot more weight on your shoulders. I'm never gonna say it's impossible, but you're setting yourself back by moving out to a bigger city with no relationships, contacts, network. You're literally starting from ground zero, and you was probably better off having a track record and a history in your hometown, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then letting your network expand from your hometown to out of town, because that's what we ended up doing. So I can go to all these cities. I got people I can call in every big city I touch down to. I still live out here in Lafayette. And I think it's also inspirational because people out here, you know, they could see us. But Phat them didn't have to leave. Phat them 6-time platinum. They got studio shit. It could happen. Somebody had to stay here and say it could happen, because look at them, you know?
Yep. We appreciate y'all too, Phat.
Oh yeah, bro. We love it.
How do you feel about the state of Lafayette music scene today?
On the rap side, I'm kind of not too in tune with it. I'm gonna be honest about that.
Right.
But overall, musically, we a culture-based city. You know, when it comes to culture, music, food, partying, I mean, I put us right up there with New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? New Orleans just a little bit more popular.
Facts.
But we just as strong when it comes to culture. We just as strong with our slang, you know what I'm saying? We got a different way of talk. You know, you when you cross the Atchafalaya, dog, you know you're not in Baton Rouge. You know you're not in New Orleans. It's confusing, but you know, to people out of the state who don't understand how diverse Louisiana is. When you look at Lafayette, man, our culture just so thick and rich. You know, the music gonna always reflect that. So I think now we at a point where everybody can feel free to express themselves however they want in Lafayette.
Yep.
You don't feel like you don't have to do this type of music. You don't have to do swing out. You don't have to, man, we can do so much with the internet and the way fan bases work now.
Yep.
Lafayette is starting to show how diverse we really have been all these years. We just was overlooked because we wasn't as big of a city. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
All right.
What advice would you give a young producer coming out of Louisiana?
Learn the business. I'm going to keep saying that. I done said this word business about 52 times in this interview. Learn the music business. It's a bunch of checks I couldn't cash because I didn't even know they was mine. So to say I had a career this long and did that damn good and I still left some money on the table because I didn't know my business says a lot. So a lot of producers that's coming up in the game, I know we chase the cosign. A lot of producers chasing the cosign. And what they end up doing is they sacrifice doing good business to get a cosign. You'll shoot a big time nigga 400 beats for free, but you won't do good business with the local rapper that's about to blow up right next to you.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And I could be one to say that. Like it's a lot of rappers, it's a lot of artists. I did their music free of charge because I knew they had the hustle, they had the networking, they had the personality for that music to blow up. Now when their music blew up, everybody, man, who produced your shit? Who you put? That's when I made my money.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to learn the business, learn how to market yourself as a producer. Right now, a producer could market themselves just as good as a rapper. So it's no excuses, man. If you're a music producer, learn the business. Learn about music publishing. Learn about sync rights, placements. All this is on YouTube and Google, my brother, and go after it. You know?
What's the key to longevity in music production?
In music production? I'm gonna say influence and adaptation.
All right.
Always be able to be influenced by something different. Don't stay stuck on one thing the whole, man. There's so much different music. Like I done been to Africa, I done been to Asia, Europe, Germany and places like that, Japan. I listen to the music that's out there when I go, you know what I'm saying?
All right.
I'll go to a concert if I got time out of country just to go be influenced by some shit because that's gonna help me add to my arsenal, my toolbox when I come back to doing music. So be open to music and consistency. You know, learning when to change with the game, man. Learn how to make stuff that people want to rap to, want to sing to. You make your sound attractive. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Do you feel the South gets enough credit for shaping the sound of rap?
I think now we do.
All right.
I think a while back it was kind of tough. They thought everything in the South was like country. You know what I'm saying? And especially in Louisiana. I'm gonna touch back on that again because for so long they thought the only rap that existed in Louisiana was New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean you can't blame people because they had No Limit and Cash Money at the same time in one city. So you can't blame them. But I mean now I think with Lafayette and other parts, especially with the 337 as a whole, you know what I'm saying? We starting to show like how many hard hitters come out this way. You starting to find out about all kind of artists like Pimp C didn't. A lot of people didn't know Pimp C was from Crowley, Louisiana. You know what I'm saying? You start seeing all these Louisiana ties to all these big name rappers, which shows that our roots run deep with the music shit. So we definitely getting the credit now.
All right. What's your proudest moment as a producer so far?
My proudest moment?
Yeah.
Two. Seeing my production for a song in a big time movie. With TD Jakes jumping the broom.
All right.
That's like a classic movie. So I never thought our song would get used in a movie that became a classic. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's good to get a song used in a movie, but when you get in a movie that people watch 20 years in a row, like it'll still rerun on BET, I think that's one of my proudest moments. My second proudest moment, man, is working with my daddy.
All right.
You know, I got to produce an album for my daddy before he passed away. So
all right,
that was pretty dope.
Yes, sir. What does legacy mean to you?
Man, everything. That's what determines your story being told right, you know?
All right.
When you understand that you're leaving a legacy behind, you take your craft more serious. You know, you speak a little more different about your business. You speak with more confidence, because the confidence ain't coming from an arrogant place. It's coming from a place of, I know how many hours I put in behind this shit.
Right.
So I'm talking to you with a stern voice because I know the kind of work I did.
Right.
It's not cocky. It's not arrogant. It's, I'm telling you, this is what I do. Right. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't hear me, I'm going to show you. But leading with that type of work, with that type of mindset, is what makes it easier for your legacy to benefit from that, you know? Right. I got a son right now he play football, but he just started doing his production thing, you know what I'm saying? That's another proud moment. So my last album I just dropped, Genius, my son actually produced a song for me. So
that's what's up.
Yeah, man, that's part of legacy. And I didn't force my children to do music or nothing, man. He got a computer, he downloaded FL Studio, dog, and just came up with some beats. And I'm like, nah, don't get me wrong, he my son, but he still got a jam now. I didn't just let him slide just because he came with some beats. I'm not one of them type of daddies.
Thanks.
Them thing got a jam, Bob. You know, don't play around.
Thanks. So, what does loyalty mean to you?
It's important between certain types of relationships, but I learned that loyalty can change. Loyalty is conditional, you know. It might start off genuine in one situation, but then, you know, separate relationships or money or fame or notoriety, man, it's a lot of things that can change what somebody is loyal to. You know what I'm saying? So I don't require it from a lot of people, especially not in the business. You know, I look for it from my family and my friends, my close circle. But in the music business, oh man, I don't chase loyalty from nothing in the music business. I didn't watch people, man, cancel Christmas, dog, in 24 hours because they just wasn't feeling some shit. So I don't look for loyalty in the business, only for personal stuff.
That's a great answer, Phat.
Yeah, man.
What does Lafayette mean to you?
Everything. That's where I'm from. That's my style, man. That's my swagger, man. You can hear Lafayette when you see me, you know what I'm saying? When you hear me talk, you know, when I go out around the country, man, and people from Louisiana hear me talk, because I'm not good. I don't got an industry voice, my brother. You know what I'm saying? When I be talking around like in the airport and shit like that, man, people could tell I'm from Louisiana. They can't tell which part though. So it's always a teachable moment because they be like, man, you're from Louisiana, but you're not from New Orleans, huh? From Lafayette. I say that proudly. I'm from the 337, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like for so long, our city was just never on that list of great Louisiana cities, you know what I'm saying? Even though we proved it multiple times, you know what I'm saying? So.
And then that's why I'm trying to show people our city, our hidden gems, even our legends like you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. What message would you give to the youth?
Trust your gut. Trust your vision. Trust your imagination. God gave you an idea and an imagination for a reason. You know, we growing up in a world where so much influence is going on with our youth. You know, I used to do a thing right across the street with my cousin them at the Clearport. I used to do like a after school music thing program where I was teaching some of the kids about recording and producing and basically how to record themselves. And it's like, you got so many people that got ideas and creativity. Follow that. You know what I'm saying? You got it for a reason. Follow it. If it don't look like it's the cool thing to do, if it's what you want to do, follow it. Because when you're going to get older, you're going to come to a point where you're going to say, you know what? I should have did what I wanted to do. So do it as early as you possibly can. That's my advice.
All right. What's next for Mr. Phat?
Man, more albums, man. I'm at a point right now where I'm back rapping and I'm just back finding the creativity of me being a rapper. A lot of people forget I started as a rapper, you know what I'm saying? I just became a producer along the line, and it took off from it. But you know, I'm still doing a couple of production projects. I really been getting into doing movies. So you know, I got a couple of songs coming out in a couple of movies.
All right.
Later on in the future, I can't really announce them right now, but that type of stuff. I want to get into soundtracking. You know, doing background music for commercials. Like, there's so many opportunities to be able to do music other than just being a rapper or actually in front of the camera.
Yes, sir.
And I'm getting into that part of it. You know.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
How can people tap in with you?
Man, I'm online everywhere, man. At Mr. Phat on everything. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Mr. Phat Official. Shit, you could email me, MrPhat337 at Gmail. That 337 been tagged to my name for over 27 years, man. So I'm out there.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Any last words?
Nothing, man. I love what you're doing for the city, bro. Keep putting us out there on Front Street, man. The world got to see us, dog. We still
Thank you,
here,
Phat.
you know?
Thank you.
We still here, bro.
Like, comment, share, subscribe.